Welcome back, everyone. I'm Ash, and today we're going to tackle a grammar point that can feel confusing at first, but becomes much easier once you see the pattern.
And I'm Paul, and I already have a feeling this is one of those grammar topics where I say, "Oh, I understand." And then I make the exact mistake 5 seconds later.
That sounds very possible, Paul. Today we're talking about would have plus the past participle and especially would have been.
So this is about talking about things in the past that did not actually happen.
Exactly. And sometimes it is about an imaginary result, a different past, a missed possibility, or something that depended on another condition.
That sounds useful already. I can think of so many moments when I wanted to say, I would have something.
And that's exactly what we're going to practice today. We'll use normal daily life situations, simple explanations, and lots of repetition.
Perfect. And before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel and come back every day because we have a new English learning episode every day.
Yes, and today's companion practice sheet is pinned in the comments, so you can download it and practice along with us, even if you don't stay until the very end.
That's helpful. I like having something to look at after the episode.
Good. So, let's start with the basic idea. Would have talks about a past result that did not happen.
Let me try an example. I would have gone to the party.
Good. But we usually want to know the condition or reason. I would have gone to the party, but I was sick.
So I wanted to go, but I didn't go.
Right. The important thing is that the action did not happen in reality.
So, would have gone means the past possibility was there, but reality was different.
Exactly. And the structure is simple. Subject plus would have plus the past participle.
For example, I would have eaten.
Yes. She would have called.
They would have stayed.
We would have helped.
And he would have taken the train.
Excellent. Now let's slow down and focus on the grammar shape. Would have stays the same for every subject.
So I would have, you would have, he would have, she would have, we would have, they would have.
Correct. The only part that changes is the main verb, and that verb needs to be in the past participle form.
So go becomes gone.
Eat becomes eaten.
See becomes seen.
Take becomes taken.
Buy becomes bought.
Exactly. This is important because one common mistake is saying would have went.
Oh, I know that mistake. Would have went. Sounds wrong now that I hear it.
Right. We say would have gone. The word after have must be the past participle.
So, would have seen, not would have saw.
Exactly. Would have done, not would have did.
And would have eaten, not would have ate.
Perfect. Let's make the first key idea very clear. Would have plus past participle is used to talk about a past situation that did not happen or an imagined past result.
So if I say, I would have called you, it means I did not call you.
Usually, yes. It suggests that under different circumstances, the call would have happened.
For example, I would have called you, but my phone was dead.
Exactly.
I would have visited you, but I was working.
Perfect.
I would have bought the car, but it was too expensive.
Very good. Notice something important. The second part often explains the reason the action did not happen.
So the pattern can be, I would have done X, but Y happened.
Yes. That's a very useful everyday pattern.
Let me give another one. I would have joined you, but I had a meeting.
Excellent.
I would have stayed longer, but I had to leave.
Very natural.
I would have cooked dinner, but there was no food in the fridge.
Great example.
So it can express regret too, right?
Yes. Very often, would have appears when we talk about regret, missed opportunities, or things we wish had happened differently.
Like, I would have studied more.
Exactly. And depending on context, that can sound like regret.
I would have studied more if I had known the exam was so difficult.
Excellent. Now you've naturally moved into one of the most important patterns, the third conditional.
Ah, the third conditional. This is where if comes in.
Yes. The common structure is if plus past perfect would have plus past participle.
So, if I had known, I would have studied more.
Exactly.
If she had called me, I would have answered.
Correct.
If they had left earlier, they would have caught the train.
Perfect.
So the if part gives us the condition, and the would have part gives us the imaginary result.
That's a very useful way to think about it.
Could we call it a past? What if?
Yes. That's a great learner-friendly description. You're imagining a different version of the past.
So, if I had left home earlier, I would have caught the bus.
Exactly. In reality, you didn't leave early enough and you didn't catch the bus.
And now I'm imagining a different past.
Right.
If I had checked the weather, I would have taken an umbrella.
Very good.
But I didn't check, and now I'm wet.
That example feels very real.
And probably very common.
Now let's compare two sentences because this helps learners understand the time difference.
Okay,
I would go if I had time.
that's about now or the future.
Correct. But I would have gone if I had had time is about the past.
Ah, the extra had looks strange, but I understand the idea.
Exactly. Had can look funny, but it's correct. The first had is part of the past perfect structure, and the second had is the past participle of have.
So, if I had had time, I would have gone.
Yes, that's completely correct.
Let's repeat it slowly. If I had had time, I would have gone.
Great. And the result clause is still would have gone.
So that's one use, talking about an unreal past result.
Yes. Another use is expressing a strong assumption or imagined explanation about the past, but today we'll focus mainly on the core uses that English learners need in conversation.
Good. Let's keep it practical.
Absolutely. Let's use everyday situations. Imagine I invited you to dinner yesterday,
Okay,
but you didn't come. I might say, I would have liked to see you.
so that means I wanted to see you, but it didn't happen.
Exactly.
Can I say, I would have loved to see you?
Yes, and that sounds very natural. I would have loved to see you, but I was out of town.
Nice. So, would have liked and would have loved can express an unreal or missed possibility.
Correct.
What about? I would have been happy to help.
Excellent. That's another very useful expression. I would have been happy to help, but nobody asked me.
Ah, and now we have. Would have been.
Exactly. This is our next major topic.
So what is the difference between would have done and would have been?
The basic difference is the verb. Would have done uses a main action verb in the past participle. Would have been uses been, which is the past participle of be.
So, been is just the past participle of be.
Yes.
For example, I would have been tired.
Correct.
She would have been happy.
Exactly.
They would have been late.
Perfect.
So, would have been often describes a past condition, feeling, situation, or state that didn't actually happen.
That's a very good way to understand it.
For example, I would have been nervous.
Yes.
I would have been disappointed.
Yes.
I would have been surprised.
Exactly.
I would have been exhausted.
Excellent.
Let's put them into real sentences.
Good idea.
If I had gone to the interview, I would have been nervous.
Perfect. You're imagining the state or feeling that would have happened.
If I had stayed awake all night, I would have been exhausted in the morning.
Excellent.
If she had heard the news, she would have been surprised.
Exactly.
If they had lost the game, they would have been disappointed.
Great.
So, would have been is often followed by an adjective.
Yes.
It can be followed by an adjective, a noun, a place, or sometimes a present participle or past participle phrase.
Let's see examples of all of those.
Sure.
Adjective. I would have been happy.
Noun, she would have been the perfect manager.
Place. He would have been at home.
And a participle phrase?
They would have been waiting for us.
Ah. So that's would have been plus an ing verb.
Exactly.
That's the past conditional progressive form.
So, would have been waiting means an action would have been in progress at a time in the past.
Correct.
For example, if we had arrived earlier, they would have been waiting for us.
Exactly.
If I had called at 8, she would have been sleeping.
Very good.
If you had come at 6, I would have been cooking dinner.
Perfect.
So there are several layers here. Would have gone, would have been, and would have been doing.
Right.
And learners don't need to be scared by the names. Let's focus on what each structure is doing.
Okay.
Would have gone describes an imagined completed action.
Would have been describes an imagined past state or condition.
And would have been doing describes an imagined action in progress.
That is much clearer.
Let's practice with one situation. Imagine yesterday, I had a free afternoon.
Okay.
If I had known the weather would be beautiful, I would have gone to the park.
Completed action.
Yes.
If I had gone to the park, I would have been happy.
Past state or feeling.
Exactly. And if you had called me at 2, I would have been walking in the park.
Action in progress.
Perfect.
I like this 3-step comparison.
Me too. It helps you see the grammar as meaning, not just as a formula.
Let's do another one with work.
Great.
If I had gotten a job, I would have moved to London.
Good.
If I had gotten the job, I would have been very excited.
Good.
If I had gotten the job, I would have been working in London by now.
Excellent. Notice how the final example connects a past hypothetical event with an imagined continuing situation.
So, would have been working can stretch from a past decision to an ongoing imagined result.
Exactly.
Let's talk about pronunciation too, because in real conversation people often don't say would have very clearly.
Very true. In natural speech, would have is often contracted to would have.
So, I would have gone becomes I'd be gone.
In theory, you may hear very compressed speech like that, but the most common useful contraction is simply would have, pronounced something like would have.
So, I would have gone.
Yes.
I would have called.
She would have stayed.
And they would have helped.
I often hear people confuse would have with would have.
Yes.
That's a common spelling mistake. Would have is a contraction of would have. It is not would have.
So when we're writing, always write would have or would have.
Exactly. Never would have.
Let's practice the full form first, and then the contraction.
Good. I would have gone.
I would have gone.
She would have called.
She would have called.
They would have stayed.
They would have stayed.
Great.
Now, let's talk about one subtle point. Would have does not always express regret.
That's important.
It can also express a hypothetical result without strong emotional regret.
For example,
If we had taken the highway, we would have arrived earlier.
that's just a fact about a different possible route.
Exactly. There may be no emotional regret at all. You're simply describing what the result would have been under a different condition.
So don't automatically translate would have as I wish.
Right.
Sometimes it is about regret, but sometimes it is simply logical cause and effect in an unreal past situation.
That makes sense.
Let's try some practical examples.
I'm ready.
If you had called me, I would have answered.
The condition did not happen, so the result did not happen.
Correct.
If she had studied harder, she would have passed the exam.
Good.
If we had booked earlier, we would have gotten cheaper tickets.
Excellent.
If he had listened to the doctor, he would have felt better.
Very good.
If they had checked the map, they would have found the hotel.
Perfect.
If I had brought an umbrella, I wouldn't have gotten wet.
Excellent. Notice the negative form there. Would not have or wouldn't have.
So we can say, wouldn't have gone, wouldn't have happened, and wouldn't have been.
Exactly.
Let's practice. I wouldn't have gone if I had known.
Great.
She wouldn't have been angry if he had explained.
Very good.
They wouldn't have missed the train if they had left earlier.
Excellent.
I wouldn't have been so tired if I had slept well.
Perfect.
That's actually a sentence I could use every Monday.
I think many people can.
Now let's look at questions with would have.
Good idea. We use questions when we ask about hypothetical past choices, reactions, or outcomes.
Like, what would you have done?
Exactly. That's one of the most useful questions.
What would you have done if you had lost your passport?
Great.
What would you have bought if you had had more money?
Perfect.
Where would you have gone if you had had a free weekend?
Excellent.
Who would you have called if you had needed help?
Very good.
These questions are really useful for conversation practice.
They are. And they're great because they force you to combine the condition and the imaginary result.
Let's have a little role play.
Okay, I'll ask the questions, and you answer naturally.
Go ahead.
What would you have done if you had missed your flight?
I would have called the airline and asked for another flight.
Good.
What would you have done?
I would have taken a deep breath, and then probably checked my wallet 5 times.
Very realistic.
Next question. What would you have bought if you had won a lot of money?
I would have bought a house.
A house? Nothing smaller?
Okay, fine. I would have bought a house. And maybe a very expensive coffee machine.
That sounds more realistic.
What about you?
I would have traveled for several months.
Nice. And now one with been.
Okay.
How would you have felt if you had failed the exam?
I would have been disappointed, but I would have tried again.
Great.
Now you ask me one.
How would you have felt if nobody had come to your birthday party?
I would have been very sad.
That's a good use of would have been.
Yes.
Let's look at another common pattern. Would have plus past participle after verbs like say, think, expect, and yes.
Good. For example, I would have thought you were busy.
Meaning that, under the circumstances, that would have been my opinion.
Exactly.
I would have expected him to call.
Good.
I would have assumed they were already home.
Very natural.
So the structure can appear inside a bigger sentence too.
Yes.
But don't worry about mastering every possible pattern today. The main structure is what matters.
Would have plus past participle.
Correct. And would have been when be is the main verb or when been starts a longer structure.
Let's spend more time on would have been, because I think that's where learners can get lost.
Absolutely.
I would have been happy.
State.
I would have been at home.
Location.
I would have been the first person there.
Identity or role.
I would have been waiting.
Ongoing action.
I would have been working.
Ongoing action.
I would have been invited.
That's different again.
Because invited is a past participle after been.
Exactly. That gives us a passive structure. Would have been invited.
So, I would have been invited if I had known about the event.
Very good.
She would have been chosen if she had applied.
Excellent.
They would have been offered better seats.
Perfect.
Wow. So, would have been can lead to adjectives, places, nouns, ing forms, or past participles.
Exactly.
And context tells you which meaning is intended.
Let's compare. Would have gone and would have been invited.
Would have gone is active. The subject does the action. I would have gone.
And would have been invited is passive. Someone else does the inviting.
Correct.
So the meaning is, someone would have invited me.
Exactly.
That's a useful distinction.
Let's practice a few passive examples.
Okay.
If I had known about the meeting, I would have been invited.
Wait. That sounds strange. If I knew about the meeting, why would I be invited?
Good catch. The sentence needs the right context. A better example is, if I had been a member, I would have been invited to the meeting.
Much better.
Exactly. We always want examples that make logical sense.
So, if she had applied, she would have been interviewed.
Great.
If we had booked earlier, we would have been given better seats.
Excellent.
If he had arrived sooner, he would have been offered a job.
Good.
Now let's talk about mistakes learners often make.
Yes.
The first is using the simple past instead of the past participle.
Like, would have went,
Exactly. Say would have gone.
would have saw, becomes, would have seen,
Correct.
would have took, becomes, would have taken,
Yes.
would have ate, becomes, would have eaten,
Exactly.
and would have did, becomes, would have done.
Perfect.
The second mistake is using would in the if clause.
Very common. In the standard third conditional, we usually don't say, if I would have known.
We say, if I had known.
Exactly. The standard pattern is, if I had known, I would have.
So, if I had known, I would have called you.
Correct.
Not, if I would have known, I would have called you.
Right, especially in formal standard English.
Another common mistake is would have.
Yes.
Remember, would've is written with have, not of.
So when I hear would have, I should think, no, that is just a spelling mistake.
Exactly.
Let's do a correction game.
Great.
I'll give you a sentence with a mistake, and you correct it.
Ready?
If I would have known, I would have stayed home.
If I had known, I would have stayed home.
Perfect.
Next.
I would have went with you.
I would have gone with you.
Excellent.
Next.
She would have saw the message.
She would have seen the message.
Great.
Next.
They would have been happy if we told them.
The past condition should be if we had told them.
Exactly. They would have been happy if we had told them.
Good.
Let's now practice with regret. Imagine you didn't study for an important test.
Okay.
You can say, I should have studied.
That's interesting. How is that different from I would have studied?
Excellent question. Should have expresses what was the right or expected thing to do. Would have describes what was possible or what would have happened under a different condition.
So, I should have studied means studying was the better choice.
Exactly.
I would have studied if I had had more time means the condition prevented me from studying.
That's a very important difference.
Yes.
And learners often mix up should have, could have, and would have.
Let's compare them.
I should have called you means it was the right thing to do.
I could have called you means it was possible for me to call you.
And I would have called you often means I intended or was willing to call you under a certain condition, but the condition was not met.
So they have different meanings even though they all have plus past participle.
Exactly.
Let's practice. I should have gone to the doctor.
The speaker thinks that was the right choice.
I could have gone to the doctor.
Going was possible.
I would have gone to the doctor if I had had time.
The speaker says the action depended on another condition.
Very useful.
Let's do another set.
Okay.
I should have bought the tickets earlier.
It was the better decision.
I could have bought the tickets earlier.
It was possible.
I would have bought the tickets earlier if I had known they would sell out.
The purchase depended on information I didn't have.
Exactly.
Now I'm starting to feel much more comfortable with it.
Good, because the next part is a fun mini-story.
I'm ready.
Imagine I was planning a trip last month. I had two choices. Take the train or take the bus.
Okay.
I chose the bus because I thought it would be faster, but the bus got stuck in traffic.
That doesn't sound fun.
No.
I arrived 2 hours late.
So what would you say now?
If I had taken the train, I would have arrived on time.
Good.
I might also say, I would have enjoyed the trip more if I hadn't spent 2 hours in traffic.
Nice.
And maybe, I would have been relaxed instead of stressed.
Great example of would have been.
Exactly.
And what if your friend had called you during the trip?
I could say, if my friend had called me, I would have been sitting on the bus, complaining about the traffic.
Very realistic again.
Yes.
Let's turn this into a conversation learners can copy.
Great.
Why were you late?
Because I took the bus.
Why didn't you take the train?
I thought the bus would be faster.
Would the train have been better?
Yes.
If I had taken the train, I would have arrived on time.
Excellent.
Would you have been less stressed?
Definitely. I would have been much more relaxed.
Perfect.
This is exactly how people might use the grammar in real conversation.
Right.
Grammar becomes easier when you hear it attached to a real situation.
Let's do a second mini roleplay, this time about a missed opportunity.
Okay.
I'll be a friend asking questions.
Go ahead.
Why didn't you apply for that job?
I didn't think I was qualified.
Would you have taken the job if they had offered it?
Yes.
I would have taken it.
How would you have felt?
I would have been excited and nervous at the same time.
Would you have moved to another city?
Yes, I would have moved if the salary had been good.
Excellent. That little exchange includes several forms naturally.
Yes.
Would have taken, would have felt, would have been, and would have moved.
Let's pause and repeat some key sentences.
Great idea. Listen first and then repeat.
If I had known, I would have called you.
If I had known, I would have called you.
I would have gone if I had had time.
I would have gone if I had had time.
She would have been happy.
She would have been happy.
They would have arrived earlier.
They would have arrived earlier.
We would have been waiting for you.
We would have been waiting for you.
I wouldn't have done that.
I wouldn't have done that.
What would you have done?
What would you have done?
How would you have felt?
How would you have felt?
Excellent. Now let's make the practice a little harder. I'll give you the beginning, and you finish the sentence in your head.
If I had known about the traffic, I would have.
Maybe left earlier.
Good. Next. If I had won the competition, I would have.
Celebrated with my friends.
Nice.
If she had invited me, I would have.
Gone to the party.
If they had asked for help, we would have.
Helped them.
If you had taken the job, you would have been.
Very busy.
Or living in another city.
Exactly.
Let's talk about one more useful point. Sometimes the condition is understood and not spoken.
Yes.
That's common in conversation.
For example, someone says, "Why didn't you tell me?"
And I might say, I would have told you, but I didn't know.
The condition is not written as an if clause, but we can understand it.
Exactly. The full idea might be, I would have told you if I had known.
Another example, I'd be helped, but I was at work.
Right.
The listener understands the missing condition.
So we don't always need to say if.
Correct. In natural conversation, the context can make the condition obvious.
That's useful because real English is often shorter than textbook English.
Exactly.
Let's practice some natural replies.
Okay.
Why didn't you come?
I would have come, but I was sick.
Why didn't you buy it?
I would have bought it, but it was too expensive.
Why didn't you call?
I would have called, but my phone died.
Why didn't you stay?
I would have stayed, but I had to leave.
Great. These are very natural patterns for everyday English.
Yes.
Try using one this week in a real conversation.
Now I want to make a common mistake on purpose.
Please do.
I would have went.
No.
I would have gone.
Right. Would have, plus the past participle.
Exactly. That's one rule I want you to remember.
Another mistake. If I would have known.
Better. If I had known.
Another one. Would have.
Right? Would have or would have.
And one more. If I had known, I would went.
Definitely not. If I had known, I would have gone.
Got it.
Let's make the rule even shorter. After would have, use the past participle.
And after, if, in a standard third conditional, use the past perfect. Add plus past participle.
Exactly.
So, if I had seen it, I would have told you.
Perfect.
If she had studied, she would have passed.
Perfect.
If we had left earlier, we would have arrived sooner.
Perfect.
If he had been careful, he wouldn't have broken it.
Excellent. Notice had been in the condition and wouldn't have broken in the result.
Yes. So, been can appear in both halves too.
It can. For example, if I had been there, I would have helped.
That's a very useful sentence.
It means I was not there and therefore I didn't help.
And, if I had been more careful, I wouldn't have made that mistake.
Exactly.
If she had been ready, she would have come with us.
Good.
If they had been aware of the problem, they would have acted sooner.
Excellent.
I'm noticing something. These structures are actually very common in storytelling.
Absolutely. Whenever we talk about what could have happened, what would have happened, or what life would have been like, these forms appear naturally.
So they're not just grammar exam sentences.
Not at all. They're real communication tools.
Let's imagine we're telling a story about a restaurant.
Good.
We almost went to the new restaurant downtown.
What happened?
We couldn't find parking.
So what did you do?
We went somewhere else.
Would you have stayed if you had found parking?
Yes. We would have stayed for dinner.
And how would you have felt if you had missed that other restaurant?
I would have been disappointed because it was amazing.
Great.
This sounds like real conversation.
Exactly. That's the goal.
Let's do one more with travel.
Go ahead.
Did you enjoy your trip?
Yes, but it was very short.
Would you have stayed longer?
Absolutely. I would have stayed another week if I had had enough vacation days.
Would you have been happier?
Definitely. I would have been much more relaxed.
Excellent.
Now let's compare would have been with was.
This is important because they both talk about the past.
Right.
I was tired describes a real past condition. I would have been tired describes an imagined past condition.
So if I actually went running yesterday and felt tired, I say, I was tired.
Correct.
But if I say, if I had gone running, I would have been tired. I didn't go running.
Exactly.
That's a very clear difference. Real past versus imagined past.
Yes.
Another one. She was happy because she got the job.
Real situation.
She would have been happy if she had gotten the job.
Imagine situation.
They were at home.
Real past location.
They would have been at home if they hadn't gone out.
Imagined past location.
Great.
Let's add another important word. Otherwise.
I hear that a lot.
Otherwise can introduce an alternative result. For example, I had to leave early. Otherwise, I would have stayed longer.
So, otherwise means something like, if that were not the case.
Exactly.
We missed the last train. Otherwise, we would have arrived earlier.
Very natural.
I forgot my wallet. Otherwise, I would have paid.
Correct.
She was sick. Otherwise, she would have come.
Excellent.
That's another way to use would have without an explicit if clause.
Exactly.
Let's review the main meanings now.
Good.
First, imagine past results.
If I had left earlier, I would have caught the bus.
Second, missed possibilities or regret.
I would have loved to see you.
Third, imagine past states with would have been.
I would have been happier.
Fourth, imagined actions in progress with would have been plus ing.
I would have been sleeping.
Fifth, passive situations with would have been plus past participle.
I would have been invited.
That's a lot, but the core is still simple.
Exactly. Start with the foundation. Would have plus past participle.
And remember that been is the past participle of be.
Correct.
So, would have been is not a completely new grammar structure. It's just would have plus been.
Exactly.
I think that idea will help a lot of learners.
I agree.
Let's finish with a final challenge.
I'm ready.
I'll give you a real situation, and you choose the correct structure.
Let's do it.
Yesterday I didn't bring an umbrella, and it rained. What can I say?
I would have brought an umbrella if I had checked the weather.
Good. Yesterday I didn't sleep much, so today I'm tired. But imagine I had slept well.
I would have been more energetic.
Great. Imagine I called you at 3 p.m. yesterday, and you were cooking. How can I describe the action in progress?
You would have been cooking when I called.
Excellent. Imagine your company had selected you for a special event.
I would have been invited to the event.
Perfect. And finally, I ask you, what would you have done if you had had an extra day off?
I would have taken a short trip.
Great.
Now it's your turn. Think of one question using what would you have done if, and answer it.
Maybe. What would you have done if you had won $1 million?
And what would your answer be, Paul?
I would have bought a very comfortable house and that expensive coffee machine.
There it is again.
A person needs priorities.
Apparently, your priorities are coffee and property.
That's a solid life plan.
Before we go, let's do one final pronunciation drill.
Okay.
Would have gone.
Would have gone.
Would have seen.
Would have seen.
Would have done.
Would have done.
Would have been.
Would have been.
Would have been working.
Would have been working.
Excellent.
Let's make the key grammar patterns very natural now.
If I had known, I would have called you.
If I had had time, I would have gone.
If she had studied, she would have passed.
If they had arrived earlier, they would have been waiting for us.
I would have been happy to help.
I would have loved to come.
I wouldn't have done that.
What would you have done?
How would you have felt?
Fantastic.
Let's give you one final reminder. When you see would have, look at the next verb.
It should be a past participle.
Exactly.
Go becomes gone.
See becomes seen.
Take becomes taken.
Do becomes done.
Eat becomes eaten.
And be becomes been.
So, would have been is completely normal and very useful.
Yes.
Use it for imaginary past states, conditions, situations, passive meanings, and longer forms like would have been working.
And remember, you don't need to memorize everything in one day.
Right.
Pick 3 sentences and say them out loud several times.
Then make 3 of your own.
And try using them in a real conversation.
Because grammar becomes easier when you actually use it.
Exactly.
Thanks for learning with us today.
We hope this episode made would have feel much less scary.
And remember, a new English learning episode comes out every day, so come back tomorrow and keep practicing.
Don't forget that today's companion practice sheet is pinned in the comments. Download it and use it to review today's vocabulary, structures, and example sentences.
And if you enjoyed the lesson, please like the episode, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another English learner.
We love learning with you, and we're happy to be part of your English journey.
All right, Ash, it's time for today's question of the day.
Here it is. What would you have done if you had had an extra free day last week?
Write your answer in the comments using I would have or I would have.
And try to make your sentence a little personal. Tell us what you really would have done.
Maybe you would have slept all day.
Maybe you would have traveled.
Maybe you would have studied English.
Or maybe you would have bought a very expensive coffee machine.
Hey, that idea keeps coming back.
See you in the next episode.
See you next time, and keep speaking English.